Hello, welcome to another product tour video by 360 Subscription Billing. My name is Jeff Kendall. I'd like to take you through a product demonstration as software can be applied to managed service providers. Our Built for NetSuite Suite app starts with transactions and record processing in NetSuite. You will never leave NetSuite within our Suite app. The first record that will need to be created here is a customer record. Our bundle includes contact information that allows you to designate other transactions for your contact at your customer to receive. In this case, I've designated invoices and statements to be sent to the contact of record. For managed service providers, it's common for us to see those types of companies and organizations use projects or suite projects. So we've created a project related to the customer in advance of processing any sales transactions. Related to that will be project tasks. I'm showing this a little bit ahead of time, but also part of the suite projects bundle. Our customer sales transaction will start with a sales order. In this case, I'm showing you that we've created a sales order pending approval, just to make sure that we've got our sales transaction entered accurately, and also potentially for enabling workflows or internal approvals for the sales transaction itself. In this case, we're going to start a new contract for this customer. We've designated that the customer would be paying by credit card, and that we would be billing them on the first of every billing period. Now comes to some fields of information that are added through with 360 SB. We've got our in-contract action set as new, right? We'd be able to designate the project that was created previously. And we're using an item that's set up as a contract item to designate a fixed fee per unit supported device relationship over 12 months, billed monthly, with a start date of a interim period date. And our first full recurring bill date will be populated based on our contract billing date. So the next first day of the month will be designated here, automatically generated through 360 SB, as well as a calculated end date, right? Our proration amount will be also automatically calculated for you, as well as the billing period start and end date. In this demonstration, we've designated that our end of contract action is going to be a rollover, which means at the end of the 12-month period, we will create a perpetual or evergreen contract line. And I will show you that as we go through the demonstration. Once our sales order is approved, it changes to pending billing status and a new contract has been created. In this case, it's number 14. That contract record, I like to call it an MSA or Master Services Agreement, is basically a holding record that's going to track and relate all the related transactions over the contract, including overall billing information, any usage, or in our case, overage, and any value, accumulated value calculations, right? Our sales order included one line, right, which came over here as what we call a contract line on the contract record. We can go into more detail on that. One thing I want to point out, as I mentioned, we're going to roll over at the end of the term. And September 30th of 24 will be that rollover creation date, right? This is the date that 360 SB will create a new contract line, right, relevant to the rollover. In addition, our contract line will also create or be related to other records, right? Here's our project task that I showed earlier, right? And we have other related records that can be all found on the contract or through the contract line itself. As mentioned, we have functionality that allows you to track usage or overage in this case. So we've defined a usage rate where any overage on the contract above and beyond the 40 initial term will be billed at the 175 rate. Now we're ready to invoice that first initial billing period, right? So again, 360 SB has gone ahead and prorated the amount for you, right, related back to our original sales order. And the PDF version of that invoice can be presented as such. This is customizable. This is native NetSuite functionality. And we've added a few columns of information here to further define what the customer is being billed for. In this case, we've added a site address, which is a location more specific than the address for the customer. It also defines the start and end date of the billing period related to this invoice. Following that invoice creation, our contract now has been updated. We can now see that our next bill date is still set to the next billing period, and our gross amount billed today has been updated, as well as we now have two related transactions on this contract, our sales order and the first invoice we just created. Again, I mentioned that managed service providers do use case management as well. So I'm showing that you can relate a case back to the contract so that when you go to this contract, you will see any cases associated with it. Now we move on to the first billing, full billing cycle. On the designated bill date, 360 subscription billing will automatically create the recurring invoice on your behalf, right? And so this is the first full billing amount for that 40 quantity unit line item that we created in the first sales order. Again, our contract gets updated. Any related records that have been created in that period of time, the new total gross amount billed to date, and cycle through to the next billing date. Since we billed for November, right, in advance, we've now gone back and seen at the end of that billing period, another 7 units were added at the beginning of the period. So we're going to go ahead and add a contract usage record for the total quantity of the units that are being supported in that period at an additional 7 units. And by doing so, 360SB will go ahead and take that usage rate record that we created. So no need to populate this rate field here. And we'll go ahead and add a contract usage record to that contract. So when we pick up the next full billing cycle, that line item will be added to that next invoice for that billing period. So now we're billing for the billing period of December, but we're going back and billing in arrears the additional items that were added in the previous period. As we move forward through time, right, our customer has said, hey, go ahead and add those 7 units to my existing contract. So we're going to generate a new sales order. Instead of starting a new contract, we're going to go ahead and designate to which contract we want this order added to. Right, our contract billing day will follow suit, as well as our payment method. Right. And we are able to go ahead and co-term this new add-on to the contract to the original line item, so that even though this is designated as a 12-month term managed services fixed fee, right? Even though we're starting in December, it's going to go ahead and end on the same date as our original line of the contract. Right. So upon approval, you'll see that a new contract line has been added to that contract with the same end date as the first line item, same end of term action. And when we go ahead and invoice for that add-on, we can invoice it separately. So this is the first full billing period for that additional line item to the contract. And again, our contract is updated accordingly. Our first full billing cycle will then include not just the first line item, but both line items consolidated into one invoice, making it easy and simpler for your customer to see what they're being billed for in all in one document. As we move forward, right, I'm going to depict a new sales order. Again, an add-on, right? Our customer wants to add another 10 units to their support contract, right? We're going to do the same operation as before, designating that same contract, adding it onto the contract, and co-terming it with the first line item. The one thing that I'm going to show you this time around, instead of creating a separate invoice for that first billing period for this add-on, we're going to go ahead and add it to the next recurring invoice. So again, our contract has been updated. We've got a third line item for those 10 units that we added to it. And when we go through to invoice our first full cycle of invoicing with this new line item added, you'll see there are 4 lines. The first 2 were on as previously noted. The next 2 represent the prorated portion of the add-on item, right? The final 2 weeks of that billing period in arrears and the full billing period cycle. So this makes it, again, easier for your customer to understand what they're being invoiced for, easier for you to collect payment all on one invoice. Also, as we move forward through time, right, 360 subscription billing will go ahead and create all those recurring invoices on the date it's supposed to, at the rate it's supposed to create them. No need for any manual intervention of any kind, as long as everything is moving forward as contracted. So I'm showing you that through September of 24, 360 subscription billing has created all of the relevant invoices up to that period in time, right? The reason why I'm stopping here is because on September 30th, a rollover transaction needs to be created, and that is also done through 360 subscription automatically, right? On September 30th, as designated on the original contract line, we're going to go ahead and create 3 new line items for the original line items on the contract. Those will be set to perpetual evergreen, which means you will continue to invoice them recurringly unless this status gets changed to canceled or terminated. .360 subscription billing will also show you on your contract what those lines were replaced by, right? Which contract lines replaced the original lines on the contract. So you can see all of that traceability straight off the contract. And again, our contract has been updated, right? We've gone ahead and billed October's bill. So that invoice looks like this, right? It's the first 3, the remaining prorated period of the original term, and the new evergreen or rollover contract lines for the remainder of that billing cycle. And then finally, I'm showing you the first full billing cycle of that perpetual evergreen contract line items, right? We have just the 3 that remain, all at that fixed fee rate. In addition to the transaction processing, we do have some functionality on a dashboard so that your users can see everything pertinent to the company's performance. Right here, we're showing monthly recurring revenue designated by add-ons, upsells, downsells, or net new, right? This will track all of those buckets of your sales types of transactions, right? We've got another graphical representation here of your ARR, as well as out-of-the-box reminders of tasks, transactions, and the like of things that the users should be paying attention to on their day-to-day tasks. So with that, I'd like to reference any additional product tours you may want to see are available here through this QR code, right? If you'd like more customized demonstration of how our software can meet your business's needs, you can click this QR code and build your demo, and we will present to you something that's more customized for your requirements. With that, I thank you for your time. I wish you well and look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Thank you.